Hello everybody. Today trade cap for March 11, 2026. And today I took no trades. I'm gonna be talking about pretty much what the market did today, right? What news we had, what Trump said, what opportunities I missed out on, right? The titles would probably be something like how I missed out on like $10,000 or something like that, right? Because that's literally what happened. So yeah, let's get into the video. So this video will be informational, right? I'll be talking about pretty much which names are showing strength, which names are showing nothing, right? Kind of identify which names are strong, which names are weak. So this will be a very good video for that. So let's get to the video. So as usual, right? Every single day we come into the markets, see we're opening on QQ and SPY, right? See what our levels are, and so we're opening pretty much within range of our previous day's range, right? So we're opening in range, so nothing too crazy. CPI came out and literally did nothing. We ended up just wicking these highs and just coming back down. So a lot of people probably lost money full porting the CPI because I saw a bunch of TikToks last night about people like dropping how to full port CPI tutorial videos on futures, bro. Like these guys are not real. But anyways, right? So QQ and SPY is opening in range. So what do I want to see, right? For long buys, right? I want to see SPY break above our pre-market high, retest it, hold it, and make that higher high for the move to the upside. QQ open up a little bit with more strength above our pre-market high, right? But anyways, just really slow price action, right? Like what is this price action? It's very choppy and slow. So nothing too crazy, still in range in the higher time frame. And that's why this price action is nothing to be surprised about, right? So nothing really too crazy on these names. So while price action is choppy and pretty much not doing anything, right? I'm trying to see which names on tech names are kind of showing relative strength, right? Because you guys know me, I only trade tech names that are showing strength or weakness, right? Relative strength with the markets or strength with the markets, right? So yeah, so right, so first 5 minutes, right? QQ and SPY just pretty much did nothing, so no need to really talk about that, right? Just literally just consolidating. But we see Tesla gapping up, right? Tesla is pushing up aggressively in the first 3 minutes, right? We're having huge candle moves, so this name is clearly showing very strong strength, right? Above our previous highs, above our pre-market high, right? Bullish in a higher time frame. So we want to be able to keep a close eye on this name, right? To see if we can get a potential setup on this name, right? So this name was for sure on the watch. AMD was also on the watch as well. But it's just really no decent price action, right? No decent any pullback right here. None of them got respected. There's no really higher low getting respected at this area above this 5 range high. We just end up coming back down this 5 range high. So right, we end up coming back down 5 range high on this AMD. I'm not interested in this name, right? It's very easy to you have to be very quick to change your opinion on these names, right? Once it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. It's that simple, right? So Tesla was ended up maintaining this fair value gap, right? For Tesla, you want to see us pretty much hold this top half of this fair value gap, right? See us just maintain this top half of this fair value gap, and we bounce off once, twice, 3 times, right? So as long as we can maintain above this fair value gap, right, we can literally just see Tesla move higher, right? Market structure will hold for that higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So Tesla, right? Technically, you could have gone anywhere any entry above this fair value gap, right? Your risk will be below this fair value gap. So this would technically be a risk reward. But if you're entering in this, right, then you're pretty much entering on a low probability trade because, right, even though Tesla is showing relative strength, right, we're still technically can still be in chop, right? After a $8 move on Tesla, right, we can have a lot of consolidation, right? If you guys saw my Amazon trade last week, like when you see these huge pops on these tech names, right, and you see a pullback, like if you're entering on the first pullback and you're trying to like enter a strong reclaim, right? You have to keep in mind that there's already been a $6 move, a $5 move, right? And then we can have this move and then simply consolidate for the rest of the day, right? That happens a lot of the times on these names. These opening plays, right? We don't get that momentum usually the rest of the day. But Tesla did end up breaking above this 5 range high, so a good entry on this name, honestly, right? Honestly, I didn't really get an entry, but a good entry right now looking back at it was as long as we hold fair value gap, right? Honestly, a strong price action above 5 range high is not that bad, right? Stop loss below. This is not a bad entry just looking at Tesla alone, right? Just looking at Tesla alone, ignoring QQ and SPY, right? This is not a bad entry at all, just looking at how we maintain fair value gap. The entry that I missed on Tesla was a little bit more safer, right? I wanted to see us kind of pull back into this order block right here, just simply a pullback, right? Showing strong price action. That's what we had right here, right? Strong price action. So in this candle, right, I was looking to enter at this candle, right? Very simple, just simple pullback in this order block, right? We had a clearly making a higher high, higher low, higher high right here. I want to enter on this instant pullback in this order block, right? Risk is very minimal, simply just below this order block because I know I'm wrong. It's very simple. But what's the problem in this trade? Why did I miss it, right? So at this time, right, we get a Trump tweet saying that the Iran war is going to end. So I was trying to enter his name on strong price action above 411. So actually, hold up. Before I even talk about this, let me just pull up the Discord and just talk about what I saw today. I should have done that earlier. So what's happening, right? So 838, QQ SPY in range. You want to see SPY reclaim pre-market high for longs, right? We're just opening in range, and CPI didn't really do anything. So today is a low probability day in general. Just looking at where we're opening up and what the news did. We're not doing shit on news, right? But when you're trading options, right, and you're trading all these tech names, you kind of have so many options. Get it, get right to there. But you have so many options that like you kind of have to like even be even more patient, right? Because sometimes even though QQ and SPY we know is choppy, right? Some names will be showing fake strength, right? Like Tesla today, right? Even though Tesla had that move, right? We showed that strong, like $8 move the first 3 minutes. We could have easily like had that pop and then just came back down the entire day, right? So yeah. So QQ SPY in range. Savings are showing strength. Nvidia AMD calls on watch, only entering on strong price action pullback because we are on low day on SPY. Pop and phase still in play, as we are in range, and that's pretty much what happened. Nothing happening. Main one should be Tesla now, right? Because I saw Tesla consolidating above fair value gap. So as long as Tesla can maintain above fair value gap, the top half especially, then we're still holding market structure for the upside move, right? AMD had no pullback, no strong price action, right? Though your best entry would have been very aggressive above 5 range high. That's just low win rate, right? It's just low win rate, but it is technically like valid because we are showing strong pricing above our previously high level with that relative strength. But yeah, and Nvidia, I don't really know what Nvidia was doing. Uh, what is Nvidia? Why did I even call it Nvidia? Yeah, Nvidia doesn't even look that. Oh, I guess I called it Nvidia because Nvidia was above our previously high level. Yeah, so Nvidia was above our previously high level, but we ended up just rejecting it, not even holding it. Also, there's really no entry on this name. Very like absolutely no entry. Maybe the reclaim looks a little bit better over here, but in the end, like this move was not organic, right? It was based with a Trump tweet, but I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But Nvidia doesn't look as good, right? I was gonna say that like we might have had that pop anyways, and the news just pushed it. But like with these Trump tweets, I have no clue. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's such a great area. But yeah, no. What am I even talking about now? But yeah, no. So on that Tesla trade, right? I want to enter off strong price action. So if I go back to the Discord, right? 857 Nvidia near high day. Tesla slash Nvidia on watch, right? So you see me keep trying to say my main should be Tesla above 411. So my entry model was simply right. Of course, we're holding market structure. Nvidia showing relative strength while breaking high day, right? I just want to see strong price action now above 411 after this pullback kind of confirmed, right? That we're showing buyers, right? So this best entry right here was simply just bid off this 411, right? I'm pretty sure I was taking this entry in any other world simply above 411. Stop loss would have been below this order block right here. TP would have been at this key level up here. So a very nice trade, a very nice 1 to 3. But what happened in this trade, right? This candle moved like this. We had such a strong spike in this candle that I became hesitant. I was It was such an aggressive candle because it was news. There was news involved while I was trying to enter that I just didn't want to enter at the top of this range because my risk reward would have been so big. It would have been all the way down here, right? And so I just end up entering this trade, and then we end up having even another big move, another nice pop on Tesla with that Trump news. So yeah, that's pretty much what I missed out on Tesla, right? Um, so sometimes this happens in trading, right? When you're too patient and you're too disciplined, this happens. But otherwise, like honestly, if you took Tesla above this 5 range high, right, candle closure, this is not a bad trade over here. I won't lie, it's not a bad trade. It's just a little bit lower win rate because QQ Inspire is just like very low probability, right? But this looks a little bit better because QQ Inspire reclaiming VWAP at this area, but like, but I don't know. After missing this Tesla trade, like I can't lie, I was not in the right mental. Right after taking his Tesla trade, like I realized that you know what, I need to get off the charts ASAP, or else I'm gonna be doing something stupid. And thankfully, right, like I'm saying that, but I'm not really like I'm not that like stupid. Like I've been training for a long time, so I don't really act like that. But right, like you have to think logically. So after we had such a big move on Tesla, right, I didn't really know his news until way later, right? But on Spine QQ, right, this pop, what do you want to see happen at this pop right now? We're showing a strong pop above our pre-market high, above our 5 minute range high. So simply, we want to see us break this area. We formed a fair value gap. We want to see the fair value gap now have a pullback this fair value gap, us hold, show strong price action, and now make a higher high, higher low for that bullish scenario, right? So the area on TP for QQ would have been this previously high level, and then for SPY, right? We had a liquidity all the way up here at this previous high level, very far away on SPY. So you want to see us kind of make a higher high, higher low on QQ to potentially take another trade for that long scenario. And for SPY, you want to see us kind of break this and hold this pre-market high plus this 5 range high, right? You want to see us kind of hold this area, right, for that move to the upside, right? So you want to see us kind of break this, show pullback, show buyer stepping up or consolidate, and then have another breakout again, and then you want to see us kind of head towards that high day objective, right? That higher time frame objective. So that's what you want to see if you want to take another trade, right? But if we're gonna like have this huge pop and then come back into the range where we just broke out of aggressively, then that just shows us choppy price action, right? So this video I'm talking about right now, choppy price action. So once we break out of a range aggressively, especially with news, if I knew it was news and we're coming back into that range, the whole day is now low probability, right? The only way I would trade this name, I mean trade today, is if Tesla and Nvidia's kept showing relative strength, right? Kept making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Then I could just take a very easy entry, just knowing my risk to reward would be very good, right? It would be a very similar trade based on like Nvidia trade, right? And look at Nvidia, we had such a strong, nice trend. So I want to see Nvidia, Tesla or Nvidia again show that same trend like we showed on Nvidia yesterday, right? If we show that relative strength, right? But we just did show that relative strength and then coming back down. There's pretty much no entry model after that pop. So if you took any other trade besides like Tesla, um, then I don't really know what you're doing because there's really no other name that look decent, right? Unless you're scalping like break of structures of low of or something. I don't know, you know. So um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much cherry cap. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. I think I talked about pretty much everything, right? Pretty much how I identified chop very easily after that news move. My entry, pretty much the mistake I made of not entering, right? Like this candle has moved way too fast for me to enter. I won't lie, like, it moves way too fast. Like, and I would have entered this if it was a news candle. Like, guarantee this candle is not moving this big like normally. Like, I would have entered right. I'm just coping at this point, bro. Anyways, that's pretty trade cap, right? Um, the markets now are just consolidating. Like you should not be trading these market conditions, right? Especially trading options. Like you have to realize as options traders, you have to be only trade. You have to only be trading. You could only be trading like in high probability market conditions. If you're trading in this chop, you're gonna go homeless really soon, right? Like, you, I don't have to tell you this. You'll find out the hard way if you don't listen. You know. So QQ and SPY is consolidating now. Nothing really happening. We had CPI that literally did nothing as well. So Microsoft. Let's see what's happening. Um, Microsoft as well. I don't know. I wouldn't really take this as well. Microsoft just is a little bit weaker than QQ and SPY today for sure, but wouldn't really take this just knowing the spreads on this name. Like I'm only taking like these names. These names over here. By the way, Meta, Google, and Microsoft. I only take these names when they're A plus, meaning they're showing relative strength, relative weakness, strong buyers, strong sellers, because the spreads on these names are so big that if you are entering shit setups and you don't know what you're doing, when you take a loss, it's gonna be way bigger than your win, right? That's just how options work and the spreads work, right? You're entering, and when you're entering on a big spread, you're entering on a loss, right? So you have to make sure to you're entering is high probability. But the pros is that if the spread's big and you have a very nice move, then you usually also make more. Um, but yeah, um, Amazon, Amazon just slow grind down now. Um, no really clean entries besides Tesla today. I can't lie. Maybe if you're aggressive, maybe if you're aggressive, Nvidia also could have decently worked well if you pretty much play a reclaim above its previous high level. This technically could have been a decent trade, right? Reclaim. Your risk would have been very minimal though, right? Especially after you reject this previous high level, we close above it. Your risk could literally just be below its previous high level. Targeting. I don't have levels marked out, but whatever the higher time frame objective is. What else? AMD. Not doing anything now, just consolidating. Tesla, price consolidating as well. Actually, near low day. Actually, not near low day, but near our previous head level. So you want to see Tesla ideally hold previous head level just for that higher time frame to look a little bit better, so we can technically trace name tomorrow, right? If we can kind of hold our previously high area, then we can kind of see a break, retest, and then potential right continuation on this name for the higher time frame for the rest of the week, right? Um, let's see what MU is doing. MU, SNDK, DSM. Okay. I mean, yeah. 14 minutes long? How's Cherry Cat 14 minutes long? What the heck? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Time is just flying. Even in trade recaps. But yeah, I mean, no trades for me today, right? The best trade for sure was that Nvidia trade, especially the best entry would have been for sure probably above this 5 range high. But the problem is this is the best entry if you're not looking at QQ and SPY. But that's just sometimes how trading is, right? Like sometimes if you want to get the good move, you kind of like not look at QQ and SPY and just trade the relative strength and the market structure alone. But this entry as well that I was trading also would have been A plus. I just missed it because of the news, you know. But both entries are decent, I would say. Both entries are A plus, right? This the second entry would have been this second entry would have been better because we had this price action kind of pull back his order block. Um, but yeah. Um, but yeah, trade recap. I'm done. If you have any questions, comment down below. Join the Discord server, and peace.